Hi, this is Arnav from the Taos team, and today I want to briefly discuss the concept of message length in a chatbot conversation. The term's pretty self-explanatory, but in case it's not obvious yet, message length is the length of a single message in your chatbot conversation. And the reason it's an important aspect of your chatbot user experience that you should be thinking about is because one of the main reasons a chatbot is so good at lead generation compared to a traditional landing page is because of message length. So if you think about the way chatbots capture leads and present information, it's very different than traditional landing pages. In a traditional landing page, you try to give users as much information as possible. The landing page on the left side of my screen, for example, is basically a wall of text trying to convince a prospect to share their information and convert into a lead. In a chatbot or a conversational landing page, on the other hand, the paradigm is completely different. You want to present a little bit of information at a time, wait for a user response, and then present the next set of information. And that back and forth interaction just keeps going until the user converts into an actual lead. This brevity of communication, this back and forth short message with another short message as a response form of communication is what makes chatbots a lot more engaging than a traditional landing page. Rather than spending all your time scrolling through basically a wall of text, you're actually engaging in an interactive experience to generate your lead. You give it a little bit of something, the chatbot gives you something back. You give it a little bit more of your user input, the chatbot gives you something back that relates to your user input. Now, that whole value proposition, that whole engagement factor is completely dependent on message length. You can completely undercut the value of a chatbot engagement by making your messages too long. If you send basically an essay in your chatbot conversations, no one's going to read that because it's essentially going to face the exact same problem that your traditional landing page has, which is going to be that it's a wall of text that no one has the attention span to read. Now, you might be wondering what the ideal message length is. And honestly, there's no good answer for this. Message length, again, just because text is so free-flowing, is very subjective and it depends on context. So the best way to arrive at what the ideal message length is for your prospects, to convince your prospects to convert into actual leads, is to actually test it out. So run some A/B tests, send your chatbot to your friends, colleagues, even your family members, and see what they think about the message length and make adjustments based on that. I can say that we've noticed a couple of trends that you could keep in mind and play around with and use as a base on which you can test on top of. Those trends sort of manifest themselves in two ways. So the first is that right at the beginning of the conversation, you want to keep it as brief as possible. We have a whole best practice about this called how you can create a chatbot hook, which is this first series of messages, but you want to keep it as brief as possible. We recommend 140 characters, so the length of a tweet, just because this is where most people are dropping, and you want to get them to start the lead generation process as quickly as possible. So send a few brief messages and give them an opportunity to respond immediately so that they don't drop and you can capture them right at the start. That same principle of brief communications transfers over to the lead generation process as well. When people have begun the lead generation process, you want them to get through as quickly as possible before they drop. So send very brief messages. Over here, as you can see, I'm sending a couple of less than tweet length messages to get the user to share their details with me. So over here, let me share my name, the next set of messages as well. Again, extremely short. Nice to meet you, Arnav Patel. Tell me a little bit about your case. The response can be a little longer from the user's end, but the chatbot is sending very brief messages. The place where this concept of brief communications can be pushed a little bit is if you're answering FAQs. So a lot of companies include FAQs in their chatbot conversations because FAQs are a great way to convert the unsure prospects. Someone lands on your page, they maybe have a very basic question that they want to ask before they convert. You want to give that answer to them, so you include FAQs in your chatbot conversation. When you're answering FAQs, you can go with an answer that is a little bit longer, just because you want to be absolutely sure that the prospect has understood the concept or has their doubt cleared so that they actually do convert. So as you can see over here, I've sent a little bit more in terms of text than I did in the actual lead generation process. So if I said hit get a free case review, over here the messages tend to be a little bit shorter. That's pretty much it from our end. Again, feel free to experiment with this. That's the best way to figure all of this stuff out. Reach out to us on Intercom if you have any questions. We have an Intercom widget in our builder. I'll just show it to you guys right now. And we have customer support representatives who are more than happy to help you get started with chatbots and answer any doubts that you have about anything in the chatbot creation process, not necessarily message length. As you can see, the Intercom widget is open on my screen right now. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you.